Following is a presentation of MRE UNO, Division 1. Yo, Seth, we can't hear you on stream, bro. Yo, Seth, we can't hear you on stream, bro. There you go. Buddy. I don't know why I went. It also went to the clay game. I don't understand why it's doing that. At least we got the one on. We're good. Yeah, it went to both. That's weird, but keep it going. You're good.
No? There we go. Now it is picking up my microphone. Okay. Well, apologies. I guess we'll kind of do a re-roll here. We'll jump back quickly here to the start since my microphone decided to have some technical difficulties there. But we welcome you everybody here to the first game of the Tellier 32 round here for Division 1 tournament number 1. Getting ready here for the first matchup, Captain versus João. And it's interesting you look at these two individuals coming into this matchup because they've got interesting storylines that may conflict and they may culminate during the course of today's matchup. We'll now bring up the matchup preview since hopefully everybody's able to hear me now. The thing with both of these two coming into this game is the respective opponents that they faced back in Storybook 64. They were able to put their respective opponents away rather handily. A 4-0 sweep for Cap over Luke, and a 4-1 victory, an underdog victory based off the ranking for João over VeriGold, 4-1. Now, this is going to mark almost a sense of deja vu for both of these individuals. For Cap, when he was able to defeat Luke, he was going up against a rookie in that matchup. He is going up against yet another rookie, making their first appearance here in Division 1 in João. On the other hand, for João, he was able to take down a formidable opponent, a 4 seed here in Dream Region in VeriGold, and now going to have to take on the 5 seed in this region in Cap. So we'll have to see if anything that both of these two individuals were able to apply back in Storybook 64 will actually be able to be useful here in Teller 32. What's the goal for these two? Well, obviously it's to move on to the next round, the Sorcerer 16. And waiting in the wings will either be Hasima Costa or Ghost. They will have their matchup at 8 p.m. prime time this weekend on Sunday night. That number 1 seed here in this region, Hasima Costa, will he be the one that one of these two will be taking on, or will Ghost be able to pull off a underdog victory here and displace that number 1 seed? João and Cap, their work will not be done. Whoever moves on here today, they will be waiting to see who their opponent will be and a chance of moving on to the Elite 8 in this first 2026 tournament. But we are getting set here for this one. You saw him just moments ago on today's pre-show, setting you up for everything that's going to be taking place during the course of this Friday morning into afternoon into evening. KT joining me here on commentary. And KT, I think the biggest question coming into this matchup here today, certainly gotta love having that international flair here on an early Friday morning if you're here on the East Coast, but the thing of it is, too, is what from the Storybook 64 can either Cap or João tap into heading into this one? Because like I said, for both of them, from the 64 round into the 32 round, it's really a sense of deja vu of what really they have to get done here today.
It is a sense of deja vu. Obviously, for João to beat 2 legends in a row is very rare. He knows what the challenge is ahead. And let's face it, let's all face it, Cap is going to be that low tide merchant. We all know it. He's going to throw those low cards in. How are you going to handle and cope with it? João said, we're not going to really ask him a question because we got his opinion last night on it. About he said he's got to try to handle it. It's got to ebb and flow with the game. I think for Cap, it's just going to be about control what you control, right? If you go to Draw City early, not the worst thing we saw with Luke. If you start control the things you can't control, and you start getting a little bit too scared on certain things, it could be elephant in the room. But we've never done this before. We've never had a best of 9 or round 2 ever. Now, this is only a one-time thing, at least for this year. This is the only time you'll see this all year. So it makes things a little bit different. We're not sure if this is going to continue moving forward. If people like it, we'll bring it back for next year. But as of now, this is only a once-and-done thing. So the fact that it is a rare thing that we had this little warm-up in a best of 9, it'll be interesting. I'm interested to see what Cap will do. We'll ask Cap the question. João, we already got his insight. So we'll go to Cap. Cap, your thoughts on playing João? Second Euro on Euro Showdown. Second rookie in a row. You and ironically Caesar always play. Really, Caesar I think has the most D2 to D1 crossover games. But you're pretty much in that same boat. You're kind of used to the feel of this. How do you approach this guy today over there in Portugal as you look for the statement win with Acosta or Ghost lurking in the background? You gotta think you're set for Cap. We called this game against Luke. That was the opening game. Now he's on the opening game of this round. He's comfortable in this opening environment for sure. That's the one advantage he will have.
Yeah, almost has the pressure of being the benchmark, right? The setting the bar for everybody else here in the round of 32. And I like you touched on. I was gonna mention this as well. That maybe the deciding factor in all of this, and it may not be, but it's certainly worth mentioning, is the fact, as you said, this is going to be a best of 9. Normally, in the past, the round of 32 has been a best of 7. Now, Cap is a former tournament winner. He's seen best of 7. He's seen best of 9. Heck, I think there's best of 11s when you get further into the tournaments here.
Yep.
So, he's been there, done that. This is the first appearance in the round of 32 in Division 1 for João. Granted, he will have more than likely seen best of 9s down in Division 2, but it could be an entirely different animal when you're up here in Division 1. Could that be a difference maker with the fact that for Cap, he's been here before, and this is somewhat new territory for João? Or do you think that, based off of what we were able to see him do against VeriGold last week, that this is basically a non-factor when it comes to the rookie?
I think it's a non-factor deep down. I know people are going to say, "Well, you never know," but I don't think the round's a factor. I think the biggest factor is just that low stuff. That's not easy to handle. We got low cards, low tier. Now Gold did a little bit against João and he handled it, but that wasn't every game. You got to expect here in this case every game it's coming, and if it's not, you might have to try to steal one. So that's going to be the ebb and flow of this game. And Cap will actually let's go to his thoughts. Go ahead, read those thoughts, Seth.
So João is my most reliable UUL teammate. Very consistent. Doesn't really have any big lows. Expect a fun game. So our CPU predictor is saying a 5-3 victory. I don't know. It sounds like maybe Cap's setting up for this thing going into the extra innings here. Maybe seeing that game 9. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Listen, it's going to be interesting when you know each other from a different league or you know each other in general. That gives a little more variety and spice to the matchup. And of course, Euro on Euro showdown should be a good one. Caesar's our ref 2 today. First time we're seeing a best of 9 in the second round. We're making history in the league, so this will be our benchmark game. We'll see what they'll set the fast lap right here, the flyer, the benchmark, and see if the other players can chase it for sure.
Absolutely. So with best of 9, Cap could have the first 2 homestands. João will get the next 2. Then it alternates until we get to that potentially crucial game 9 where Cap will have the final homestand. We'll see if we get to that point. But we've ended up seeing both of these individuals play really well here to start out Fairytale February. Who's going to be punching their ticket into the Sorcerer's 16? I say we don't wait any longer. Let's head down there. You mentioned Caesar, our referee. Cap gets the first call. Cap, how are we kicking off this first game of the Teller 32?
Yep, not surprised.
There you go.
There it is.
You had to know we were going directly to the basement.
To the basement floor, and Seth, give us the call.
So here we go. How are we going to kick this thing off here? What's going to be the first card played? It's not easy to win on 5. We see most of the time it go to a draw city, but we have seen those rare occasions where maybe you get just the right 5 cards to be able to run the table and close it out with a matter of 2-3 plays. Looks like Cap's going to draw back here on the Charles Sanford 6.
Oh, wow.
João can play.
Yeah, that's once again, when you switch it that early, you're basically saying, I've got something to maybe filter an ammo flush, or you're trying to filter something out. So let's see if João can really run this stuff. He checked finish already?
Wow.
Oh my.
Has Cap iced out, so 2-color hand there for Cap. And now for João, it's all about making sure that you play the right numbers, right? Don't allow a light switch here. Keep it plan A.
He's got to have it here, Seth. That was a no-brainer if he had it.
Wow. I know it's certainly early on, but that's a statement victory right there. When Cap's got the call there, low tier, and you're able to have plan A on a 5-card start, my goodness.
Yeah, I got nothing for that. Cap, nothing. I don't have anything on that one. João, I got nothing. I got no question. That was just 55 seconds. It happens. That's crazy, Seth. We sometimes we see Cap. He turns the tables all the time on those players. He'll do a 55-second winner, but
Oh
the
yeah.
fact that I don't got a question on this, and it's pretty much a perfect game for João right there, we're good to move on. I don't got anything.
Yep. The only thing I
Yeah.
would say is just obviously it didn't work out for Cat, but there is a silver lining to the cloud. One, this is a best of 9, so you still got plenty of time to be able to come back. The second thing is too, being on the losing end of that, this may not be the first time and the only time today that we're going to see him maybe call for 5, because now he still has that in his hip pocket should he want to dial it up again. He wouldn't have
And
if he had been on the winning side of this first game.
and we know in a best of 7, you're down 1-0. Sometimes best of 9, you're not worried about going down.
Oh
We have a
no.
lot of time. And that's the beauty of a best of 9. You have those 2 extra games potentially. You have those. I almost say you have an experimental game or two in you because of the fact that it's a best of 9, and with only 1 power play today, whereas the next round will be 2 power plays, it makes things a little bit unique for sure. So not the worst thing for Cap.
So Job,
Cap, your call. I'll take this one, buddy. Just everything's free. You picked 5 last time. Where we head now? We're just gonna head right back
go right
to it.
back to
Okay.
it. Okay. Well, I figured it wasn't going to be the last
So
time we'd see a 5 start. I didn't expect it was going to be in back to back, so here we go.
he said he's into it, but again, it could flip right. It could flip right away to where Cap gets the magic as we just hit rest it up and let's see what it'll be. Now Cap will get a card to start off. Here we go.
It's interesting too. I mean, him going back to it, obviously the comfortability of him being in that low tier region, but also the fact that as we found out, obviously he knows João very well. These are not two people that are playing each other for the very first time. They have a history, so maybe trying to test the waters again here and say, hey, you got lucky the first time. Let's see if your luck runs out. If I can knot it back up 1-1.
Yeah, Joe taking his time here on this one. Interesting. Just
Yeah.
loading up maybe, or or it could be internet. We've seen that thing or two too as well. He'll go to the yellow switch. Okay.
Interesting. All right.
Or that, yeah.
That too.
Man, Cap's juiced again, man. But okay, this is what we expect on a 5, though.
Yep.
This is what we normally expect. Top decks are going to be the key now.
See if that yellow one's going to allow Cap an opportunity to light switch out of yellow. Or will he have to continue to draw back? Nope, still going to have to draw back. No escape yet for either one.
Yeah, they're really just going to have to learn what this Straw City is, because that first game there was none. And when you have none, and you get your first Straw City in game 2, it takes a little bit to get up to speed. Just like Joao waking up, same thing here. As DJ joins us.
Yeah, for people that have never seen 5-card start before, maybe tuning into your first MRE UNO stream, this is basically the blessing or the curse of the low 5-card start. You could maybe be lucky and have that plan A like we saw Joao have in that first game. A lot of times, though, you're basically banking on the fact you're going to go into this draw city and you're basically hoping that the top deck gives you ammo. Little ammo right there for Joao as he was able to hit a double play there. +2. And that yellow 3 will be enough for Cap to be able to make the light switch over into green. So here we go. We've basically unlocked the door. Now we're starting to put our foot through and see if maybe we can put something together, probably on both sides.
Yeah, this is the as DJ joins us here. This is the ammo explosion we talk about. Someone's making the break. Let's see what Cap will do here. In the layer into the Euro step. Let's see what. Yeah, there it is. There it is. Set triple. He's got the lead back.
Flips the script, flips the momentum
Season
here.
layer friendly. Yep.
Still remaining in green, I believe. Let me double check. I think red is our Pandora. No, blue is our Pandora's box color here.
Yeah, the fact that that's our special Pandora box color, we're in that the blue there, and the fact that we haven't seen much in the yellow and green or red, only just those +2s, it gives a lot of wide open variety, which I think both players will not mind for sure. Still waiting to see what Cap will or what Joao will do, but I think for Cap, pushing the pace, trying to get off the game, and that's interesting that we ended on a 6 there from 12. He must have had double 6, and gets lucky the cat doesn't have a 6 switch as he's still running here.
Well, now we're ascending 5, 6, 7. Do we see a green 8? More than likely not, but you never know. Nope, nope, we're going all the
No,
way
right
down to the
there, 0.
bottom. Green 0.
Yeah, it's defense. Just making sure Cat doesn't have a 0 sugar switch, but he does.
Oh
Wow.
boy. And here we go. We're into blue. Cap
Oh,
down to 3
trips.
cards. Hello.
Trip 0 into the red stack. This could be an interesting one because Cap opened up the blue, but now he gets cut off on the red, and he gets some more red on the top end.
Also, remember, we started in red, but we didn't stay there very long, so Cap might have been looking for a wraparound back into
Back to
red.
blue with the crossover?
Oh, wow.
It's a risky call right there from João.
Yeah, this is I think testing the waters to see who might have that knockout card.
Got the check. There it is.
But here's the question. Does João maybe have a finish with his 2
He's
cards?
got
He
the finish.
does. Wow. That was literally a test of wills
wraparound.
right there.
Yep. That was the wraparound. That's what he was waiting for, and it just worked out because, think about this. If Cap throws any other card down, let's say he throws a red 8, well then Joao's probably gonna have no choice but to use his wild right there.
Exactly.
So he'll go to the wild, and then at that rate, he throws the wild down, who knows what Cap would have done. So interesting. It's definitely Cap, you had something cooking at the end. What did you ultimately need? And do you think that Draw City with the +2s being split, almost worked out to where you just couldn't get that one extra card, or was it a case where you're thinking about power play? Talk to me about that last card and that wrap around him from stealing it under the table. Wow, great save on that red 0, man. That was ultimately the decider of this game because you basically had him guessing, and you did a good job. Talk to me through that guessing game and how you let's see. My last card was a wild. Wow, Seth, that doesn't get closer than that.
No, it
That does
doesn't.
not get closer than that. Double wild. It happens.
That strategy there almost could have come back to bite João. That was one of those things where you already have in your head what your plan is, but you know that if you have it just wrong, if you strategize just wrong, there might be something on the other side. I want to look back real quickly because I feel like possession was the key factor in all of that there. I don't know exactly where it was that João was able to have the possession there. Well, I guess it was actually just on that final play with the reverse, because I think up until that point, after the trips play, I think Cap actually had the possession. So not only did he end up having the cards to finish it out, but he was able to take away that possession advantage on that final play, that double play.
Yeah, great work there from Joao just to get that double play. Joao, talk me about the wraparound strat to basically know when to time right to that last punch with the wild. And did you get anything profited off that +2? And how was it in that first Draw City? You now understand a little bit of the 5-card Draw City. Talk me some of the notes you had there.
I mean, I think what I did was very greedy, but I thought that, I mean, it's still early in the series and I'm up, so might as well get greedy. When he played the Vu 0, I really thought about um not going to the red 0 and just keeping it on Vu, because I had the Vu reverse and the Vu 9. But I think it was a better play, even though I had literally nothing else on the red to just get rid of a card, and it ended up working out very well for me. So I think that's just what happened.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't know when to be greedy and know when to be conservative there, Seth. And sometimes you have that greed because it's early in the series. And again, when it's a best of 9, you got more games to experiment, more games to try. Now Joao stealing both 5s. The question is going to become here, if you're Cap, how do you try to bounce back from this? Because when someone steals both of your favorite card starts, that could be a massive change compared to the past where you would look and say, okay, well, Cap's got 2-0. He's got his favorite card starts 1. Now it's a whole different complexion. If he can get a third win here in a row, then it starts to really, really turn up the heat for Cap. So we'll see here because we know he ain't going on 5 for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you think about this and the fact that we talked about the 2 different aspects of a 5-card start, the plan A and then the getting lucky on the Draw City. Joao's been able to do both of those so far. So Yeah, it will be interesting to see if Cap changes the strategy up here or not. Obviously, now he's going to have to wait a little bit because 2 road victories for João, and he's got the next 2 homestands. So we'll see now. With being lucky down here in the low tier, what does João do on his first homestand? Let's find out. João, you currently have been able to find 2 victories in the early going. What are we doing here for game number 3, your first call? All right, so we're going to go with, I guess we'll call this,
Nine?
I was going to say upper mid tier, but this is more just mid tier, to be honest.
Mid tier, yeah. Well, he loves that 9-card special. It's not a surprise. So we'll see what we can do. Jay's going to. No problem, Jay. But we'll get this 9-card special in here. Not below, he says, so I guess it means no worries. In Portuguese, potentially.
All right, we'll start things out
But,
in green. Of course, back in the 5-card start, you're not only relying on having the right cards for a plan A, but also you're relying on, ammo on the drawbacks if we go into a draw city. Now you got maybe a little bit more to play with, but that's an early draw from João. Now again, we've seen this before. We've seen individuals so good at the fades. This could be a case that João does have green, but they're good green cards, maybe action cards, reverses, skivs, +2s, and just doesn't want to play them this early. So you can't necessarily read into this in the early going of saying, oh, well, João has no green whatsoever.
Well, we talk about that. We talk about the early fade. We talk about the early, I guess the early, what was I going to say? Fades. But I think the fact this could also be a strategy, too. Sometimes when you have a good hand, some people will just draw first turn to build up more and just gamble on the deck just to really build it. We've seen that, too. So I don't know. This could be a fade of just good hand or nothing or what, but Cap is definitely going to be very interested in this play because now he can really make it happen for sure. If he can run on the double numbers and play number efficiency.
It's interesting. There's now light switch into blue. G-Man sent me some interesting statistics coming into this game, and I didn't know that I would have to adhere to this stat as early as right now here after game 2, but we end up seeing João, a 13 seed, go up 2-0 so far here against a 5 seed in Cap, and according to G-Man, this is the 16th time that there's been a 5 versus 13 seeds, the most common of the 3 non-chalk matchups, 4 versus 12, 12 versus 13 being the other 2, but historically, the 13 line has done better in a 5 versus 13 matchup, having a record of 9-6 versus a 5 seed. So it's really interesting that with this being one of the 3 most common matchups, that the underdog story has had the statistic favor, and here we are sitting 2-0 13 seed over 5 seed.
Yeah, that'd be good knowledge to have when you make your picks. But more importantly, I think the 13 seed in this case just has nothing to lose. There's the KT Shark out of the water wild, and how will Cap try to balance this? Because this was 2 color he's basically banking. Let's see if Cap faded it well. What a statement this would be too, Seth, if we do get that 3-0 from João, because Cap this rate then would be he's out. If he doesn't get the cards, then we're looking at something very unique here. And here comes João looking to run. But here's the switch. You got to think Cap's going to get the switch right here. It just always happens with these numbers. You pick the wrong number, and all of a sudden momentum flips. What's this top decker going to be?
Let's see. Does Cap find an out? Be able to wrap it around here out of blue. It's not an immediate draw, so I think you might be right. He certainly has to have something here, and oh yeah.
There it is. +4. Great call.
+4, so there you go. Good defensive play. Establishes it over into red here as well, and now João, who might have had a plan there, maybe to potentially close this thing out, now has to look at those 4 freshies and
yeah, good call.
He'll hit back. Trips play.
Yeah, good call though. I think you had to make that call for Cap. At a certain point, you just don't want to leave a +4 on the table, and he keeps PA. He keeps the possession arrow, keeps the game within his reach. That's a great call if you're captain, for sure.
talking about Cap here, mentioned about the fact of the statistics of the 5 versus 13 seed for Cap. This is his 4th career Europe versus Europe match. We, of course, ended up seeing last
Jeez.
week him taking on Luke, who's from England, now taking on João from Portugal. Currently, he is sitting at a 2-1 record against former fellow Europeans. His only loss was to Gon. That was back in the second tournament of 2025.
Yeah, and that was when Gon had his magical Final Four to finale run after beating Myth and lost to G. That was a great tournament back in the old Auto April. But for this one, yeah, Cap again, he's familiar. He's the first game of the round, back-to-back rounds, and then he's of course, the man here in charge when it comes to trying to figure out how to beat these European players. He knows how to play these familiarity games and environments, and that's a part of the game that a lot of people forget and don't realize. When you have familiar environment, familiar territory, familiar everything, there's no pressure when it comes to that portion. You just got to go out there and play and not worry about an intangible you can't control. There's the switch to the G6
Oh
into
boy.
João's car. What will Cap do right here, Seth? This is interesting because at least the good news here, it's not the blue where he was iced out.
Let's also
There it
remember.
is.
Okay, so yeah, there's the light switch. Yeah, I was gonna say because I was looking back. Remember, we ended up having an immediate light switch off of green. That was our starting color, and we saw João draw off of that. So I almost wonder if Cap. Well, I was gonna say, wondered if Cap may have light switched off of green for twofold. One, to establish the color he wanted, but
Got it.
secondly, thinking that maybe, just maybe, João had been holding on to some ammo in that color, but apparently he was holding some in yellow also.
Yeah, double yellow 7 maybe potentially for Cap or some type of double number he's gonna need because that's an opener for Cap or for Twow to switch it. Cap didn't go into the bait too. He didn't go into the reverse bait if he had one. Keep in mind. Draw in there. Be here from Cap now. He's in the red zone, Seth. Down to
He
3,
is.
potentially 2.
Does he maybe
Let's
use
see what
that
it'll
7,
be.
as you said, maybe now do a light switch of his own?
To
Or does
get
he
the
have a
+4 off
finish?
that +2, he could be. He could have got that return. Or the +2. There's the
Oh,
return,
wow,
and
there
that's
you
2-1.
go.
Yeah, that's vintage Cap though, Seth. That's vintage Cap. He took advantage of potentially that +2 draw. Cap, talk to me about the +2s he kept giving you. Really good returns. And then also talk to me about the isolation. The fact that you were isolated on that one blue wild, you got the number switched into or you didn't get the number, you got the +4. How did that change the game with the top decks to alleviate any extra stress that Joao had? That was interesting. And if you want to ask a question to Joao, go ahead, Seth. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Joao, I want to know just real quickly here. Did I read this right? When we had that early draw off of green, the starting color, did you have something that you maybe could have played off of that, but you wanted to save it for later on and was looking for the wraparound back to green to close this thing out?
No, I just had a connection that I thought would be valuable late game, but I ended up not even playing that card anyways. So it might have been a misplay, but I got a good card off the draw. I just was not able to use.
It happens, Seth. Sometimes you get a good car off the draw and you think you're in prime position, but ultimately, we talk about in this league, everyone can finish from 7 back. And when everyone can finish from 7 cards back, or even 3 cards back, in this case with a +2 sandwich of hockey and G, then you have to accept the loss, move on, see how you can do in the next round because you got to have a short memory when you play Cat. Not only are the games typically short and the card starts are low, he will suffocate you if you start to go a little bit into your own head for sure.
Yeah, timing is everything when it comes to these games for sure. Because to your point, you leave the door open when you think you've got a plan. Somebody else on the other side certainly has a plan as well. And if they pull the trigger before you do, then maybe it's too little too late. So far, nobody's been able to win a homestand. So far, we are 3 for 3 in the road team getting the victory. Cap gonna close the gap up here. Now a 2-1 advantage for João, and Joao's got that next homestand coming up here. Got everything open except 5. What do we do? Whoa, we're going way up there. One short of the full send, but we're going double OG here for the 4th game.
Let's read those thoughts from Cap real quick, though, before we go to the next game, Seth. Let's read those thoughts.
Had the +2s the whole game. Could have closed it out a bit early, but João played a couple of +2s as well. Luckily, only drew reds and yellows, so he was able to stay 2-color hand, able to finish the game. And yeah, that's a thing, too. We talk about the patience of players sometimes where, you know, the knee-jerk reaction is, I've got these +2s, I've got this +4, I've got this wild. Oh, I need to play it right here and now. You hold on to them for later on. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but then sometimes you end up having a situation fall into your lap like Cap was able to.
Well, that's the beauty of it, right? Ammo control, making sure you let the opponent run down anything that they need to run down and then attack when you need to. That's just textbook from Cap and not a surprise at all. But now to 14, we can run it here. It's interesting. Going to go up to this double OG. A lot of times when you go to the mid skip, a lot of times when you amp up the card start, it can change the way both players have to attack the game. We're going to see a lot of that, in my opinion, probably in the game. I really think we're going to see a lot of that in the next game at Lara Clay. Those guys both know how to go into that mid tier and an upper tier, and then that could also make the algo change. Could make the players change. There's a lot when you have to look into this for sure.
So we'll start off with action card blue skip. We'll see if João plays into that, or does he maybe just cap off with a number. We might potentially here as well. We've seen, I won't say rapid style, but we've certainly seen some fast play here in these first 3 games from both of their players here. And I almost wonder now, as we go up into the double-digit card start, do we maybe see the pace back down just a little bit? Maybe a little bit more mental thought before we see cards played here, because you mentioned it. We've seen situations where players have won from 6, 7, 8 cards out. It won't take us that very long to get into that proverbial red zone. So are we already maybe on both sides thinking that type of a scenario?
There's a display into the Nick 9. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think the fact that you have 14, there's going to be a little bit more of a development, no crescendo moment right away. I think both guys now understand Draw City on the lower cards as we go into the switch, into the G9 and Brian. They both understand the low card Draw City. It's just interesting if we get to the high side Draw City. Then that will make an impact either way on both these guys and how they adjust their game plan for sure.
That light switch by Cap we'll have to see here. Obviously, with this high a card start, usually the strategy is try and whittle down the numbers as best you can, save those ammunition cards for a big finish, and we're going to go trips 9 here right out of the gate. The blue to the green into yellow.
Wasted no time, man, into the Brock 1.
Is this just feelers
B1,
right now? All these light switches, trying to see if we can find a color on the other side that the player is iced out in? Or is this trying to establish color possession? Like what are we doing here?
Well, as we going back, we're trying to undercut as much as possible because they either A, are saving the runs and are trying to basically bank on maybe one of those runs. Let's say a blue card's in there and they can't play it towards the later end. And it makes the game a little bit more dynamic for both. They're definitely going to switch to try to make the game more dynamic. We've seen a lot with these 14 card starts lately. Run the numbers. Everyone's just so good at run the numbers, playing patient, not trying to rush anything. And yeah, we say rookies, but they understand. And Cap, no need to tell him twice. And when you have that mix and variety, it makes the game interesting. Here comes João. Let's see if we get that first action card, maybe around 6 to 5 cards. We'll start seeing it, I'd say.
So we'll run in red for a little bit here. Not far away from that 5 to 6 cards you were just talking about here. And of course, we prefaced it before this series began. First time that the round of 32 is featuring a best of 9 rather than the usual best of 7. Cap alluded to this back in the second game, not wanting to use his power play that early on to knot things up 1-1. with it being a best of 9, is it too early here in Game 4 to start thinking about the possibility of using the power play on either side, or do you think we wait until we get, maybe into a Game 6, a Game 7 situation?
Well, I think we'd have to look into around game 5 because if someone's up 3-1, you may consider it there. But if we get this into a 2-2, game 6, 7's more the right. Here comes João as Cap makes the first break with the trips play back into the Camaro 2 in the yellow. Again, it's going that undercut, basically testing. He's probably forcing João to use some ammo right here, I would think.
Yeah, you gotta wonder,
Let's see
maybe
if
Cap
João
on the other
obliges.
side might have some split ammo here too. Let's see. Was that to set up maybe for a finish with 6, and now Joao's got something to think about.
And he's going to double up, all right.
So both players will
Yeah, I
be
mean,
knocking at
listen.
6 cards each right now.
Listen, they're just feeling it out. And again, we talked about, I say about 5, 6 cards, they start to make runs, and they haven't been able to. So this is a sign of a lot of numbers to begin with.
Currently sitting
Cap
at
do here.
2-1 in favor of João. One of these two going to be moving on into the Sorcerer's 16. Going to be playing against either the number 1 seed here in the Dream Region, Hasim Acosta, or 8 seed Ghost. Those two will be facing off this Sunday,
wow.
8 p.m.
Look at that. Triple play. There's that first. I said around 5 cards. It could start to get wild, and there it is. There's a trip. Let's see if Cap responds.
Down to 2. A couple of freshies there for Cap. Let's see what he gets on the return.
Yeah, Cap will have something here. Surely he'll. Maybe he's got the other Caesar +2. Maybe he's got the +4 just to prevent a finish. Let's see. Yep, there's the other Caesar +2. He's going to draw it. Interesting.
And more.
Yep. We'll see. I think this is interesting, Seth, because the fact that he's willing to leave it open on a draw +2 in the G, a +2 opener, door opener, he's basically saying to João, I'm going to respect that because you might have a split finish. So interesting there on that one.
It's also interesting leaving it open there on the yellow +2. We saw João actually switch off of yellow. So basically, right here off of the stack +2 is what Cap is saying is, maybe you ended up getting a number in yellow where you can, be able to cap off this +2, but maybe I get lucky and maybe you didn't draw any yellow and I can ice you out again.
Numbers is key. Cap can flip the switch on a DJ5 or any type of 5 right here, and it can make the pendulum swing right back, though. So he's got to make sure he plays those numbers, and that's a good move right there to play that 5. Nothing going on. Or do that. We'll draw City. DC's not the worst thing in the world. Yep.
Force the draw City, the only yellow there off of that double +2, that yellow 5, and now we'll start drawing back here. Top deck there for João. Gonna be tough to light switch off of that 0, though.
Never know. We said that before, and you never know. He could get it. Yeah, there it is.
Shows how much I know.
So he's going to force Cap's hand now, going into red. We talked about that red. I mentioned it earlier. It could be a spark to win the game because he was running clean on it. Let's see if he got some more ammo on it. Comes Cap. He'll run a clean to Sanford. Now João looking to fire back right here on this red. He went there for a reason. What's the reason? Is it a potential triple play to really get clean, or does he got a split ammo? Let's see. There's a double. No split, but he's got some there, Seth.
Has possession as well. That'll get him down to 5. Cap just going to play it cool there into the red 7. And it looks like Joao's going to run some more numbers.
Cap's strong. Here comes João. Let's see what he's got. He's got the switch into the G3, the Thunder. Yep, there's the break. So that's the green earlier that Cap was iced on. And all he can do is just run it clean. And he's got the KT. Is that game? Let's see. It's a check. What will Cap have said? There's not many options other than the +4 or +2.
6 cards in his hand. Does he have something?
He might though. This is Cap. He's always got something prepared.
Might be forced to play a +4 if he's got it. There it is. Yeah.
There it is. Yep.
out of
So
necessity,
no
nothing you
power
can do in
play
that
there.
situation. You have to do it.
Yeah, no power play there too. Keep in mind. So that's something. Now Joao with the blue wild only goes back to green.
Brought
That's
it
not going to
back to
falter Cap at
green.
all. Yeah, that's interesting. So maybe he's got the blue 8 to try to wrap this around, or some type of green to blue wraparound. I think that's what he's looking at. He's got to have some here. Otherwise, this is really good for Cap. Yep, he'll take that draw city all day. That's not a problem. Yeah, that's no problem right there, Seth. Absolutely zero problem at all.
I mean, not only do you get the draw city, but you also were able to flush out that +4 on the other side. So that's a bit of a mini win right there if you're João.
Yeah, massive win for your Joao. And for Cap, you have no problem just staying here and staying content. See what will be from Joao. Top decks will be key.
Still got some options in green. Still got some numbers that have not been played, but got to at least get them first here as we continue to draw back.
They're both drawing back now. Well, you wonder if they're both drawing back. As we go into his own card, half his own card in the Euro step combo. You wonder too here if you're Seth, do you really want to switch it now? Because, well, that's I say that, but do you really want to switch it? Because with green, we had no +2s going. Now with blue, it's open on the +2s, and there's plenty of reverse skip meta to go. So who's got one of those two +2s that could set the tone right here? Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, we've broken up, open the lock. As you said, not only are the blue +2s out there, but this is the color that we've been in the least so far in this game. So we're going to see probably some pretty good runs here. You see a double play right there by Cap. We're probably going to see quite a number of those here during the course of the next few minutes.
See what Joao will have. He went to the blue for a reason. He'll play cool in the Andy.
Well, remember, we ended up seeing Joao go to the blue with the wild when he got down to check. So we know he's got something there. And
There's the
Cap
yellow
realizes
3.
that too, so he'll bring it back over to yellow.
Oh, there's Joao. Look at that. Triple
Ooh.
play. Gets it down to dose. Okay.
Wraps it around to red.
Cap, nothing, just responds. Is this Joao for the winner? Or is this a check?
Gotta wonder, is it gonna be a finish in blue again, or did maybe the blue card that he had left after he played that wild, has it already been played?
Power play, so he didn't use it earlier. He's
Oh,
going to use
boy.
it here. So that's it. Yeah, good call there. I think you got to do it.
Yep.
You got to do it, Seth. Because he knew earlier he should have did it. He should have did it earlier. Now he's going to do it there. I'm going to go to Cap. You can ask questions. Well, Cap, really weird game there. The +4 save was great. You basically got him on the wild. You used that wild +4 to save the game. But ultimately, you threw the double +2 into a draw. Was that just hoping he'd give a +2 to give you more cards and more options? Or was it a little bit of, you know what, I got to prevent a finish, but also I need some more options to work with at the same time, secretly hoping for that return back at a +2? Question for Joao. We'll go to Seth.
Yeah, Joao, I mean, we ended up seeing you get down to check. You had that blue wild. Obviously, I was kind of wondering if any of those cards that you played right there as we ran in blue were any of the cards that you had for that final one, or maybe that blue 5. But was that a case there with this power play of a fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, where you didn't want to take the chance? You already had gotten down to check. He hit you with a +4. You're saying, not this time. I'm going down to check again. I don't want to take a chance of a double down of him having another +4 and stopping me from winning this and going up 3-1.
I mean, yeah, that was exactly my thought. In the first time, I thought, okay, let's see what he has. There's a possibility that I don't win this game at the moment, but let's try. And the second time, I mean, it was a switch with colors. I did not believe that that I could have won that game if I only played the red fight, considering that this game Captain had more ammo. So I just thought, I mean, the ties are on my side, so might as well just keep piling on.
Obviously, KT we talk about the difference between a best of 7, this now being a best of 9. If it's a best of 7, that's a no-brainer, right? You're going to go up 3-1. You're at match point. But in a best of 9 here, you're up 3-1. You only have 2 victories to be able to move on to the next round. And as João said, he has that double numbers there. You got to have that link to the chain to finish out with the double 5. I think that was actually a really good time to use that.
He says, I played them because he was down to only 2 cards. I want him to draw city. Okay, so just trying to, I got you. Just force him back, prevent a finish. Yeah, you got to use it there, I think. Now, sure, Cap did get 1 on the road, which is big. And it is a best of 9 as again. If this was a best of 7, 3-1, you're looking comfortable. But a best of 9, a lot can happen. We know Cap is going to drop this down and make this game more of an interesting test. Because I think the upper tier was a wishy-washy thing for Cap. The 9 worked, but we'll see what he does here. It's an interesting series so far. João's taking the lead early running. Let's see if he can close it out, which is key on these best of 9s.
It's our first homestand victory so far of the series, but Cap now gets the next 2 home games. He'd like this trend to continue and maybe find us going into Game 7 not at up 3-3, but he's got to get at least 1 back here, draw back to 3-2. Cap, only thing you're not able to go with is 9. What are we doing here for Game 5? I almost wondered, KT. I almost wondered, 0 for 2 on a 5-card start, his first 2 homestands. I wondered on his next homestand, were we going back to the well? 5 was still an option.
Again, he's just the definition of insanity. He keeps trying the same thing over and over again. He's going for it. He's going to try to get 1. That's a great start, though. That's the start you want.
Exactly is. Yeah, double played there with the skip. João able to run in yellow as well, but Cap's got a
triple down
gap
2
here. Ooh, I don't know. This is looking like potential plan A.
Oh my goodness! The crossover. Cap can't do anything, man. He can't power play. What does he got here?
Gosh.
Is he winning on this? Double check.
Double check. Double
Cap
blink. João can't finish it off. Can Cap? No, they both can't.
Man, oh man, that was some heart-wrenching stuff right there.
That'll spike your adrenaline in a hurry, I'll tell you what.
Oh. Telling me. Let's see what João will have here.
Both almost able to pull off a plan A here, and now we're relying on the top decks. Can we maybe get lucky and get that 1 card that can link the final cards that they both were at check with? Or do we maybe now go into Draw City after both were right on the precipice of taking this game?
Yeah, you have games like that, man. It comes down to just what did you get on the heart of the card? There's nothing really to say. There's nothing really I can say on that one. We'll see what it'll be from João. He's taking his time, just waking up maybe. But if you're Cap, let's face it, man. As you got to draw, you just dodged the bullet. What's it going to be here? From Cap. What did he get on the top?
There for João. Did Cap get like? Oh, he did.
4!
He found the top deck.
Cap gets it done on the top deck +4, and just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we got a series. And that's all it takes, right? He wanted to change momentum. Now that he got that 5-card start win, Seth, I can guarantee you, Cap's thinking, man, I got him right where I want him. I got that momentum now. And that's all it's about. Get a win like that, momentum, it can change your whole complexion of how you approach the rest of the series, for sure.
Yeah, momentum has definitely shifted. He's got the next homestand. He's still got his power play here. And as you said, he's been able to now get a victory on that 5-card start that he loves so much. So, yeah, it wasn't necessarily a must-win for Cap in this Game 5, but it's definitely a win that he will take because it might set the tone for the rest of the series.
Now we'll go right to it. Cap, there's nothing really to say on that game. I think we're just going to roll right into it, Seth. There was a plan A plus a top decker to win. What are we thinking for this Game 6? I could be shocked if it ain't 6, but we'll see.
Yeah.
There it is, Seth.
Yeah, I think we were both thinking the exact same thing there.
6 cards. Here we go. Can Cap get another plan A win? We got a plus. This is some great starts for Cap. This is great. Part of winning these games, Seth, is getting that right starting card from the bot. You got to rely on the bot. And there it is. Great starter.
Plays into it.
10-4 special. There it is. What's João have here?
Right out
Now
of
the
the
question
gate.
is, does Cap have no red? That's going to be the key to watch. Yeah, he may have ran out of red though, or he'd be fading one. Go ahead, Seth. I'm sorry, buddy.
No, you're good. That sets João back to double digits here. Gives him some ammo to play with, though, so he could maybe be able to use something to bring Cap back away, not allow him for a plan A here with a 6-card start.
That's Cap, man. He's always going to go downhill, low tier, and just try to play this out, the right projections, and he's right there in the red zone already. We talk about it with Cap all the time. He's over a 20-time winner in this league. He's got the experience. He's won so many series from domination to close games, and he's basically a full package, winning from behind. He's done everything he can in his career so far. He's got that medal, that tournament win back in 2024 in April, Aquatic April. For João as a rookie to be up 3-2 still, you're playing one of the best to ever do it, at least in terms of the class rankings with legends of Cap, and have this best of 9, basically make it into a box of final 4 games here, even without the power play. You're in a good spot. So we'll see how João handles this moving forward, but he's in a good spot compared to a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I mentioned about the fact coming into this, that 4-1 victory over the 4 seed in this region, VeriGold for João, and now coming in here against a 5 seed in Cap, and able to, as you say, currently have the advantage up 3-2 is Cap iced out here in blue.
Cap basically could have an offset hand on yellow and green.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. So interesting that he decided to play off of that +2, have it in a color that he was going to be rather depleted in.
He still has nothing.
Yeah.
Wow, what is this?
Wow. I thought
One
for a
color
moment there
for
that
Cap?
I thought that João maybe broke it open for him, but no, not really able to do much of anything was Cap, and now you kind of almost wonder, playing off that +2 in the early going, could the return maybe come back to bite Cap? Let's see what João can do here. Down 1 possession.
Yeah, this is interesting. That is definitely an interesting play. Oh wow, triple play. So now we're going to see the only difference was, remember, off the box starts +4. Here it's a +6. Let's see what Cap gets in return. João making a huge break.
Yeah, take out a huge risk there as well. Now kind of almost flipping the script from earlier on when João was at double ditch and Cap was down to 4. Now even dozen for Cap. João down at the 4 cards here, but potential ammo on the other side given with that stacked +2.
See what it's going to be for Captain. He's got some loaded up here, Seth. This ain't over by any stretch. This could be ammo war. He goes right back.
There's the
Hell, it's
answer
like
back.
that. The pendulum swings.
Yep.
G to Clay to J Money, and he's got the lead by a possession.
Brings it back to blue as well, so it looks like he may have ended up getting some blue to work with off of that +2 return. Remember, he was iced out in it earlier, so interesting that he brings it back there to that color. Now we continue. It's literally a back and forth. It's like tennis here. To me, to you, to me, to you. It's basically, here's some ammo for you, here's some ammo for me, and they're not being shy about pulling the triggers on these either.
No, it's a good old classic rally going for both. They're both swinging the pendulum. They're both hitting some 80-mile-per-hour serves. Cap's a tennis fan, so that makes sense. And you wonder here, if you're João, who's going to, and Cap, who's going to get the last good return though? Because the first return possibly could have been off that +2 in favor of João. Then Cap threw, or João put through another +2, right? In response to that, he might just gave Cap a return. So now the pendulum would swing back to him if he gets the return on a third time, but it's rare to see that on this bot. We'll see if that is the case. 3 returns, and there's back to yellow. So there's the ISO we were talking about that he wanted.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was just looking. We had 14 cards played, and already 5 of the 8 +2s have been exhausted. I mean, you don't normally see +2s fired, that many of them fired this early on in the going.
Yeah, we saw with Nam and you 27 of those bad boys, and then the game after myself, we had none. So this spot's weird, man, with the ammo. Sometimes you can get, we already have 15, and now sure it's a best of 9, but even if this game goes, let's say, well, this game will go 7 minimum. even if this goes 7, right? You got to look at this and keep in mind to have, let's say, 20 plus 2 in the 7 games. That's a lot, and I think both guys have had to manage it well as there's a double play as Cap extends the lead now and then
we
Costa and Gold.
mention it all the time, whether it's from game to game or series to series. You're never gonna see two that are alike, and a big part of that, as you alluded to, is that bot. It's what I like to call consistently inconsistent. You never know what you're gonna get from
That's
it.
the beauty. Well, that's the beauty of it. In the past, you have the other bot. You knew you consistently. You had 2+4s. That's all she wrote. This
Yep.
bot, you don't have. You can have 2+4s when you get the shot of the water wild from Taco.
Heat
It could
check.
be. It's kind of different. Maybe no power play though. Keep in mind. So this is interesting. Could be a heat check though. I like where you're headed. +2. No, he's gonna play cool. Cap. He's got his power play too. Keep in mind. But Cap did blow out. Wow, he was blue in the face and was blown out of the water on blue earlier. So this is definitely an ISO play.
So he did definitely. He was able to play one card there, was Cap, but now iced out in blue. Oh, but there's the break.
Yep. It gives Cap life. It
Yep.
gave Cap life. But interesting that he did the blue wild, try to steal a turn right there. That's an interesting strat. This could be for the win.
Could that be a sign of potential split
Yeah,
ammo?
that's it. There
that's
it
what I
is.
wondered. Was it maybe
ammo.
split ammo there? Just needed to get that one card out of the way, and that was exactly what João was able to do.
Yeah, Cap, I got to go to you here, buddy. Talk to me mindset that early +2. Did you just have no yellow? Was that the problem? Just no yellow, or just really one color the entire game, and you couldn't find connectors? Because that return must have been solid to get that double +2, but ultimately, I wonder if João got the last turn to get the job done. I'll take reference duties, says Seth. Go ahead and ask João a question. No
Yeah,
problem.
the big thing that I got to ask you, João, is we ended up earlier on in a game having Cap say that he had ammo that he kept for a good portion of that match. We saw the finish you had right there, the +4, the +2, into the skip to finish it out. Obviously, we saw the back and forth between the two of you with the +2s. How much of that there for that finish did you get on the return of those +2s, and how long were you holding on to them?
Literally every card I played besides the red 8, from a point on, was from those +2s. Aside from the wild and the red 8 that I had from the beginning.
Wow.
He gave that to me.
I mean, we talk about it all the time, KT. The blessing or the curse with the +2s. Yes, you're able to set your opponent back, but then there's always that question mark. What did I give them on the return? And we see there with what João was able to hold on to off the return of the +2s earlier, ends up now putting him up 4-2 here at match point.
Well, he said he only had numbers, and I had a feeling he just wanted to run to see if he could get something cooking. And ultimately, he ran. He did a good job of running, but it was not enough of a lead. And ultimately, when you don't have enough of a lead in a 10-4 start, the starting card, there's not enough leeway and gap to get to where you would be. So, not the worst play from Cap. I think he had to try something, but it definitely is not swinging in Joao's favor. I'll take it here, Joao. Your call, man. No 5, no 14, no 6. What do we got? We sending it? Full sending? All right.
And we saw him go double OG on his second homestand, so we're going to go up one more. Going to have that 15 card full send here. A lot of good scenarios right here for João going into this. Granted, he's down the power play, but at match point on a homestand. And wow, we're going to kick things off here on a wild. Do we do the culture is the question. You mentioned a lot of people do it, but there's a lot of people that don't as well. So,
well, get used. I'll tell you this much: if Acosta, because Acosta's in this, Cap's not even gonna do it. Wow, I mean, he's desperation. Desperation kicks in. At this rate, he knows he's got to get every advantage. I get where he's coming, but I'll say this much: the guy that's leading this region does not do that.
He's notorious for it.
He's probably the apex, in the words of our apex competitor, of not doing that. But let's go back to this game. Cap deciding to play this upper tier star, right? He's going to have to play into this because he's not normally into this type of stuff. He likes the 5 to 8. He likes that range. How is he going to attack it? Because he hasn't won much here on the 14 card star where he was close. You draw it out to 12 minutes. He hasn't done much. The 9 card start's not upper tier. That's mid tier. So I'm interested to see what he'll do, as it'll be a 2 card possession lead for Cap.
And you certainly would think on a high 15 card start that there's going to be ammunition, but there have been occasions, I mean, everybody's been bitten by it, where you end up maybe having 1 or 2 really good cards, and then everything else is numbers. Let's talk about that possibly being a situation here for Cap. You're down 4-2. 1 game more for João, and he's going on to the Sorcerer 16. Do you have to start potentially looking at the cards that you've got and maybe start factoring the power play into the conversation if you're Cap?
Possibly. You had the power play. You got to think you got to use it at some point. But more importantly, I think if you're a captain right here, you've been here before. You know at the same time, you got to look at this and say 2 things. I've been here before. I've come back from 4-2s, and he's even shown up from 5-3s in some of those best. He's been here before. The question's really going to be at this rate, how does he try to manage the ammo if he's got? Because we've seen so many times when you don't have much ammo, or you just don't, you're getting outplayed a little bit on numbers. You get that ammo for the first time all series, you can sometimes rush. Now he's done a good job of not doing that, but sometimes you rush and you get too excited, and that's how you get burned in the end. So let's see how his his ammo management is to start putting some embers into the fire.
Well, João trying to punch his ticket. He's already making his first appearance here in the round of 32 here in Division 1. Looking to make his first appearance in the round of 16. Again, as I mentioned, G-Man sending me some really good statistics. And if João is able to close it out here, be the 9th 13 seed in Division 1 history to make the round of 16. That line has the second most appearances in the round of 16 of the double-digit seeds.
Look at that. Look at that, Seth. Cap found a way to get back to blue in a sense. He went to yellow, but he saved some blue. That's huge if you're Cap, because João thought you were iced. You got him on skates right now, which is big.
Yep. Able to play that fade there. João will play into it.
There's the switch into the Yepes.
We're not seeing ammo being played here, KT. So when we start getting down in the single-digit territory, I don't know. We could end up seeing both with their fingers on the trigger. Who pulls first?
Well, we'll keep that in mind, because right now João he's definitely in an interesting spot as we go into the red 3 here. He's going to play numbers, but again, we're also nowhere close to the finish. We're nowhere near it, and when we're nowhere near it right now, you can play those numbers, not be too aggressive. Just lay in the weeds right now, and then when we start getting down to that 4 or 5 cards, then we'll see who's for real and who's not. Cap do right here.
Yeah, taking a little bit of time here. 9 cards out from the finish.
Cap is showing all numbers right now, and there's well with the level up, but he's showing all numbers, and if you're showing all numbers right away, you're João, you're not too concerned, because again, at some point you would have loved to see some type of ammo, believe it or not. It would be reverse or skip.
Ooh,
but this could be a game of numbers. That's big.
That's huge.
What will Cap have here, though? He's got to be careful with the switching. What's he going to do?
7 cards are out. I wouldn't put it past us pulling the
there it is. He pulls it. There's the triple. Now what will João do? Does he go back to red? I think that's the most likely option. He goes back to red somehow.
Yeah, you got to certainly think that might be an indicator of split ammo there for Cap. So now, back to set to 16 cards. Now João got to your point, try to figure out, more than likely, go to that red, try and ice him out here. But again, though, does Cap maybe have the cards for a contingency plan if you bring it back to red? Maybe be able to use a +4 or something to get out of that situation. Does he maybe have this game won right here and now, unless João's able to set him back with a +2 or a +4 of his own?
If he steals this one, Seth, without the power play, that would be huge too. Because if he can steal this one without the power play, then we're talking game 8 coming up. And at that rate, I think Cap would be more inclined to use and force a game 9 with a hockey style, no power play, barn burner. Let's see.
What does João do here? Let's see. Does he have an answer?
There is the answer. Yep.
Quad play, he
There's
plays the +2, so that takes away the possibility of a finish there that Cap might have had.
Well, we'll see now. Cap is somebody that is a very. I think Cap is he goes the green. He's known for these switches. He's known to get back into the flow of things. But if he's on two color the rest of the way, green, yellow, if you're João, how do you navigate that? Do you think about using your reverse skip meta every turn to get back to that blue? Do you think about just maybe rolling into it with a plus? I don't know. There's a lot of options. Depends what he got in that return. That's a huge +6 return. We need to know what he got. And there's the yellow. So he's going to roll into it. That's what Cap may have wanted, though, Seth. Keep that in mind. Interested he goes into that yellow. That's something he may have wanted here.
Yeah, that's what he finished on was the yellow 5 after that trips play with the +2s. So, yeah, to your point.
Here comes Cap, and again, he's
of
rolling here something. Oh, look at this. That's got to be finished, Seth.
That's it. That's
no call out. Yeah, this is Cap. That's game. There's nothing you can do there. Yeah, there's no need for a call. Cap gets it done, and now Seth, with that power play save, all of a sudden, this game just got real. Cap, what a hand, but I gotta ask, what did you get on that return from João? He gave you those 2 extra cards. Did that help enable you more to a finish? And talk to me about how you were able to fade the blue, because you isolated the blue and faded him well and got him on skates. Seth, you can ask João a question. That's a good question with the skates, for sure.
Yeah, João, obviously, getting hit there with the stacked +2s, we ended up seeing, it looked like both of you were running the numbers, was kind of looking like maybe who was going to pull the trigger on ammo. You mentioned about him having a great hand. What was your hand looking like? What was the situation looking like for you? How close were you to maybe being able to pull the trigger yourself?
My hand was dire. I had nothing that game. I had the ammo I put down and the green skip. That's all I had. Not a good one for a 15 carder.
We'll have the next homestand coming up here. Kind of looking back here, KT, I'm almost wondering if maybe on that return, I almost wonder if maybe it was the red skip and the blue reverse, maybe? I don't know, because I'm looking at
might have been.
That green 2 might have been the finishing card. I feel like he would have had the +4, so it might have been like the +4 into a green reverse and a green skip into the green 2 to close it out there when he was down to 4 cards. I almost wonder if that blue reverse and that red skip might have been the 2 cards he got there on the return of the +2.
Yeah, either way, whatever hand he had at the initial get-go. Again, the full send we talk about. This is not stuff Cap normally does, and if you're João, you just gave him a lot of confidence. That's the thing. And that's the thing. When you don't normally do something as a 15-card start, in the case of Cap, and you win on it, the confidence is through the roof. So João's got to be careful with his card start.
Oh,
that's
wow.
a ridiculous return. That's a ridiculous return. Could have finished, but my brain is. That's interesting to say that, but all good there, Cap. But regardless, João's going to send it again. He's basically just going to gamble on here, Seth. All right, we'll just wrap it up then.
So it'll be the second straight time here in this game where
Jay's
we
back,
see somebody call back to a start that did not warrant them a win. Game 1 to Game 2, Cap going back to the well with a 5-card start. We actually went back to that again in Game 5, but now back-to-back calls for full send here by João. His final homestand. Still up 4-3, but Cap's got the power play. Could easily force this into a Game 9. It's also the scenario here, too, with what we just saw here with Cap on that 15-card start, that Cap could end up finding the cards, finding the run, knock this thing up at 4-4, and still have that power play going into the final game, too. So it will be very interesting to see how he weighs that in the balance, depending on the situation here. I mean, we know that in these next 2 games, Cap's going to be using that power play. It's just a matter of when. What is the avenue of which we are using that? Is it to send this to Game 9, or is it to close out Game 9?
I think it's going to be sending it to game 9, the safe play, unless you got one of those monster hands again. You got one of those monster hands, then all of a sudden, Cap would then have a game 9 with power play, and you know he ain't going upper tier. That'd be an interesting juxtaposition too. So he has his available. He still has 6 available. I think as a card start, so that's something to keep in mind as well.
So do you think that with him having the final homestand, that also makes it a little bit easier to pull the trigger on the power play here in game 8?
Yeah, easily. Because you know, especially with 6 cards, it's going to be a luck if he goes that low or even something like such a 7 or 8. You know, you really have that mid tier, low tier going. It'd be easy. And Joao's going to really take his time on this one.
He said back during that first full send, just really didn't have the cards to work with here. You gotta wonder, with taking a little bit of time, maybe observing the hand, maybe he's got some links here now to be able to chain stuff together and weighing his options here, as we will run in the yellow.
Yeah, there's the Y6 taco style from Brock, and I think both guys now too, Seth. Let's call it like it is. There comes a point too where if it's just going to be numbers galore, then we're going to have the same rinse and repeat of the last game, and then someone's going to make the break. So,
Yep.
so come to keep in mind.
Light switch there by João. I was looking back at the stats of this game. They're pretty close in terms of the color switch statistic. Maybe a slight advantage there for João, but not by much. They've both been, especially the second half of this series, we've seen more aggressive light switching than we did in the first 2 or 3 games.
Keep staying clean. There's again, still switching, trying. Joao's still in the lead because of the PA, but all we've seen is just straight numbers. 10 numbers in a row. It's going to be from João. Play it clean. Still numbers, still a long way to go.
Still numbers. It's only been in 3 of the 4 colors so far. Cap iced. Now, we mentioned how that was a bit of a turning point when João was iced out back in the previous game. I believe it was on red as well. Might be a turning point here now with Cap iced out in the red. Cap will find the switch over, though, off the 0 into green. So there's the Pandora's box open. Now all 4 colors in play.
Yeah, I think the fact that all 4 colors are in play now, Seth, as we... Again, the switch has been saying to Andy here from João. He's looking to have some type of break. I think João wants to play ice. Again, just the numbers. We go back to a double thunder. That's the crossover. Can João get this back to double Andy?
Or is this Cap maybe
blue.
trying to force João to pull the trigger early here on ammunition? 6 cards out.
He does. Back to red now. Okay, so now if you're Cap, you know with the power play too.
Yep. I mean, could we be looking split ammo here? Do you have to use the power play now defensively? We didn't even talk about that. We talked about it maybe on the offensive side, but do you have to think about it defensively if you don't have the cards here?
Possible, unless he's got... Well, if he's got a +4 or +2, there's no need. But if he doesn't, exactly, then yeah, different story. Let's see. Yeah, Cap, he's thinking this one through. There's not much really to go off of CH because everything's open on action cards and +2s and +4s and wilds even. So let's see what he'll do. He'll go with the power play. We'll see if this is a winner. Right. Goes to the KT Blue Wild, 5-3 now, and at the worst case scenario, 7-3. The worst case scenario is he just played this for defense. Yep, he just did it for defense. So yep. There we go. 5-3, as I expected. So good play there from Cap. You gotta try some.
Yeah. João play into it.
And there's
Cap
a draw.
iced out. Now here's the question: was that blue 1? Was that the card on the return of the power play there? That draw card? Could João maybe have a +4 that he was looking to finish out with here or something? Let's see.
We might be honest. That's a check. Now Cap... Oh, boy.
Wow.
I don't know if Cap has anything. If he's got anything, it'd be a +2.
He had to
That's
use the
the only
power play
thing.
last time they
That's
were on
it.
red.
That's game.
Yeah.
That's game. That's it. João moves on. I think Cap just did not have the hand. I think the whiplash came in from our last good hand. Got to think, Seth. That's got
Yeah,
to be a thing.
definitely did.
Keep in mind. Cap, I'll go to you, man. Then we'll get the winning interview from Seth as well. I gotta think the power play defense. Good move there. You gotta try something. Ultimately, did you just not have enough in the back pocket to get the win after that last game? Having that mega hand and that power play defensive was just more trying to prevent any coverage off the back end. Seth, you can go ahead to.
Yeah, João, I gotta ask, what was it? The blue one? Was it the blue one you got on the drawback there after the power play was played?
No, it was a red 2.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I got the red
So
2
Cap
on the
went
way
with the
back.
fade into blue for an ISO play, and that would have actually played into the exact color you actually were planning to end off with.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wanted. I debated on playing the red 2 immediately, but there could have been some shenanigans on Vu. He could have had like some reverses or skips to switch out of it. So I thought just play the blue one and then wild for the win, hoping he doesn't top deck something good.
So that makes things interesting going back there, and the fact that. So going back to when you had that quad play with the reverse skip meta into the red 8, at that point in time, I'm assuming that you were planning on having the wild played into to blue to close things out there. Did you at the time know that that was potentially a fade play, or did it just kind of all work out for you? The situation work out for you?
I mean, I wanted to end on blue, so when I did the quad play, I had the wild and the blue one left. So I was always going to blue eventually, but he ended up going there for me, so that worked out extremely well for me.
We've had an incredible rookie campaign so far here. Able to
Yeah,
take down
good
VeriGold
table
last
awareness.
week.
Sure.
Take down Cap here. Your first appearance here in T1. The road doesn't get any easier. You're going to be heading to the Sorcerer's 16, facing off against either Ghost or the number 1 seed here in this region, Hasim Acosta. A lot of momentum here, a lot of experience gleaned against former tournament winners here in D1 and everything in between. What does this do for the confidence level now going into your first appearance in the round of 16?
I mean, my goal is still make the top 4, so I just gotta keep my ego in check so I don't make mistakes. But yeah, I'm confident that after these 2 wins against 2 legends of the game.
Like I was showing here, Captain
Yeah.
says he has nothing, just play the power play defensively to extend his time in the tournament by 10 seconds. So
That's classic Cap. Yeah, I think it came down to set today. A little whiplash in the back pocket.
Yep.
We always talk about with the whiplash that could really change the complexion of any game. And then ultimately, I look at this now. Drow will be a third straight series on the road because, of course, you know how it works out here. You're on the road, so yeah. I'm just wondering what's going to be the benchmark for him. What's going to be the benchmark in this dream region for him. He's done a lot of good things. I think if he plays Ghost, it'll be very fast. As in, both guys like to play normally quick and to the core. Good luck against if you play Acosta because that guy will drag you out, dogfight, no excuses. It's just a drag down dogfight, Seth. And how many times have we called an Acosta game where it's just drag down, drag you out, play you slow roll, and that's it. It's just how he is. So I'm interested to see how both guys will react to that. But what a win for João to get this rookie class on the right foot to make a statement like that on Cap. That's a big saying for sure.
definitely is. I mean, as I mentioned, you look at what he's been able to do here in these first 2 rounds now. The 4-1 victory, pretty handily able to dispose of VeriGold, but then having to really almost run the distance here in a best of 9 in round 2. Able to take a 5-3 victory over Cap. And there was situations there, game 6, game 7, and here into game 8 where it was looking like the momentum was firmly on the side of Cap. He was having those homestands. He still had the power play available. He was getting the top deck draws, but João able to get exactly what he needed here be able to have that maybe unintentional fade in the close of Game 8 and able to take this series. So he will move on. His rookie campaign continues. He'll make his first appearance in the Sorcerer 16 as he will be taking on the winner of Sunday's game at 8 p.m. Eastern, Acosta taking on Ghost. So we will look forward to seeing what the matchup will look like here in the Dream region in that regard. João going to be waiting in the wings. What a crazy series this one was. The CPU said that it was going to be a 5-3 victory, and it was correct in that regard, but the script was flipped as the rookie will take this one in João. Best of luck to him going forward. We thank you all for tuning into today's opening stream here to kick off the Teller 32 round for Fairytale February. For our referee, Caesar, for my fellow commentator here, KT, and for our players and the watch party, everybody tuning into an incredible series to kick off this round of 32. I'm Seth Cole. Thanks for joining us here on this Friday morning. We'll see you as we continue on the journey here in Fairytale February for the first tournament of 2026 for the MRE UNO tournament here on YouTube.
This has been a presentation of MRE UNO Division 1.